go.
Here we are in the creative kitchen working on Rapunzel's tower. You can see the rendering here. Starts off with the darker shaded tones at the bottom, gradually getting lighter towards the top to more of a medium tone. The light source is indicated on the print coming from the top right. So all of the shadowing on each block and all the forms is going to be on the left lower side. You can see it's pronounced more here around the window, thus suggesting that this block protrudes out. You can see that the grout joints are minimal and dark, and so the first step is to start putting the tone or the proper value onto the artwork. So I've got a brush here, and the first thing I'm going to do is spray some water here just to get the area moist. We're going to take some of this matte medium and spread it on there. This is just going to give you the ability to mix on the block. You can be liberal with it. A little goes a long way, so no need to overuse it. But you want a nice thin coat of what's this matte medium. And again, this is basically like giving you the ability to blend the paint on the canvas without the use of water. It has a paint retarder in it, so it will allow your paint to stay wet a little bit longer. Now we're going to direct our attention down here to the grays. The first step here is I have a color straight out of the can called Gray Stone, and we're going to get that here on our mixing area. And I've also got some white here, so if I have to lighten that up, I can always dip that in here and lighten this gray tone up if needed, just like that. So we're going to start off by putting the mass tone here on the block. You can see I'm pushing the bristle into the block. I'm over painting the grout or into the grout area, which is good. You can see it doesn't take a lot of the paint. You really do want to go block by block. There's no need to be rushed about it, although you can see I'm not, carefully trying to just, paint this. I am moving my hand around and being kind of rough with the strokes. That's the technique. So now I have like a mass tone there. Now I want to start putting the shading on of the color. And for that, I'm going to use this same gray stone tone, but down here in our palette, I'm going to pull in some violet to give it some warmth, and some blue to give it that depth that we're looking for. And start pulling the color in. See, I'm holding the panel because it does have a tendency to wobble. If it starts to get too tacky, a nice mist of water awakens that medium that you put on there and allows for blendability again. Okay, so we have a nice mass tone here. We're going to start going a little bit darker down in the corner. See, I'm being varied with my strokes. You could actually use a 2.5-inch flat brush for this as well. This is a bit of a small brush. Now I'm going to start pulling in the violet and the blue in a more concentrated fashion. Really begin and lay that in there. we don't have any white areas exposed anymore. And now the final step is I'll take our roller. We have this kind of medium tone gray. Lightly dip that roller in along the whole flat, just lightly. Roll it off. And then start to move the roller around to paint the block. That drop shadow. Step back and look. Make sure it's the right tones. And we're good. As you get higher, of course, you'll use less of the blue, more of the gray, and we'll look to actually switch so that we're not using even this dark gray. We're using a little bit lighter gray, but that's the technique.